Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, double honors our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth sincerity. Yeah, man, this is GMS in Fort Nebraska, man. Beautiful, beautiful times we're in. Via prophecy, as you see in post-production, man, all these other nations, the ops of America are standing up, and want to go into Second Esdras, not Second Esdras, but Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, the 14th verse, says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord." And this is the thing, very key point. Babylon has definitely sinned against the Lord, in many ways, but we're going to get one way in particular, all right? And this is the thing why people are out here defending, woe was, wailing for Babylon, howling, as the scriptures say, but the pains won't be healed, okay? It's Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 8. It says, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent unto me, unto the nations which spoiled you." Okay? Because once you, we'll go up. We'll start in verse 7. I ain't gonna go up too far. It says, "Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you." Okay, because no nation was buying us, but Yahweh Shai bought us back, which goes back to the word redeem. All right, and he bought us back through his blood, because he knew eventually we were going to be put into slavery, and we were bought back in that time as well. Okay, because that started everything. But through that sacrifice that he made, it also led into us being the veil being rent, and the bridge of grace and the opportunity of mercy being available. Okay. It says, "But thus said the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you." Okay, mainly Esau. All right, but all these other nations have spoiled us too, because they were the dogs licking the wounds. Okay. It says, "For he that toucheth you, do what? Toucheth the apple of his eye. Apple of his eye." Okay. And it says, "For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that the Lord of hosts shall have sent me." So the Lord's gonna make a statement to let him know who he's with and who he's against. So all these, these Christians and naysayers and people bringing incredulity, that the Lord's gonna make sure it's manifested that who he was dealing with and why. But within this lesson, Esau has been turning a blind eye, omitting the weightier matters, wresting judgment, lying, all right, causing murder, experimenting, poisoning, mingling seed, polluting the earth, polluting the water, polluting minds, and all of it. As the scriptures say, surely a turning of things upside down, surely a turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay, and Esau truly has turned things upside down. As it says in Esdras that the whole tree has taken root, okay? And those who stood stiff what? About the flow of this world, man. A lot of our people aren't, but that's besides the point. Getting back on subject is that, Esau has turned to things, and these are the sins that reach unto heaven. All right. And they try to gaslight the whole world into believing that they're justified by using their logic that they established. But their logic is established off their image of the beast and their concept. So it makes sense. It'll make sense. But when you go into the Lord's will, you'll understand why it doesn't make sense as well. OK, but Esau has been doing all this bullying to all these nations, and now the nations are fed up, man. All right, and that leads me want to read to Isaiah the 14th chapter. We're gonna go into Isaiah the 14th chapter. We're gonna start at verse 4. Okay, it says, thou take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Okay, you watch this video, man, that this reel I'm playing in the post production. This is proof that their golden city has ceased, man. People are tired and fed up. Okay, and fed up, and it's coming from the least of the flock drawing them out. But at the same time, back in the day, people didn't want America to get involved. They were scared of America. Even they mentioned, because their blessing is a sword, and I want to get into that as well. But yeah, their blessing is a sword, so people were in respects of that. And just like the mark of Cain, all right. So we're gonna go into Genesis real quick, because we want to go into the mark of Cain. All right. In Genesis 4:9, it says, and the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And the reason why I'm reading Cain, because Cain is Esau is an incarnation of Cain. All right. We are an incarnation of Jacob. Same as Adam. Adam and the serpent. Cain and Abel, Jacob and Esau, Satan, Michael the archangel, good against evil. All right. It's just that concept. All right. Light is set against darkness, darkness and light. There's things 2 and 2. Okay. And those are the 2 and 2s. But Esau is the incarnation. And it's crazy that the Cain, that the mark that Cain received is the mark that Esau lives with, which is the curse of leprosy. Okay. Not like the Mormons say how it's being dark is the mark. It's crazy. It says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And the reason why it's a good correlation, because the innocent blood of all Jacob cried unto the Lord to this day, man. All right. It tells you in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, I believe the 15th chapter, when it says, the innocent blood crieth, unto the Lord. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of innocent blood that was shed through authoritism, through their policing, through their military. There's a lot of innocent blood came through their science, their pseudoscience, and their theories, and all kind of stuff, man. All right, their poisoning. All right, there's a lot of innocent blood that's being shed by Esau. It says, and he said, verse 11 says, and now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. And this curse is going on to this day. When thou tillest the ground, thou shalt not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be in the earth. And this is the thing. There's them so-called Jewish people been kicked out over 100 countries. Okay. Now, though some of those countries was in reference to the ancient Israelites, which are us. All right. Which is not the same. Like being exiled out of Babylon, something like that. So some of those you can't count because it's logical and it makes sense. And it's not applicable to them because it was us. Right. Because it was like war, us not paying, tribute to kings and stuff like that. But we, them times that they were kicked out, it was them using usury and manipulating the government and their system, going into somebody else's country and getting kicked out. All right. We're talking about that. And they're a vagabond in that type of way. Because when you go into the word vagabond, it goes into the word, it means wandering, unsteady. Okay. Wandering, strolling about, wandering, undecided. Yeah. And he's always in somebody's business. He's always on War and Peace. He's trying to get this resource, that resource. He has an embassy in every country. Things of that nature, man. He's a gatherer abroad. His his ideas, the image of the beast is everywhere. Why? Because he's a vagabond and he's everywhere. And the so-called Jewish people are the king of the vagabonds because they're in every country. Just like there's a video, which I'm gonna do another video on, save that one for later, where there's a female speaking and she was like, y'all sit there and bomb all these countries, and then as soon as y'all country go to war, y'all just run to New York, y'all run to Amsterdam, y'all run to these other countries and live where y'all really live at, because that's what they do. These Jewish people are just a bunch of middlemen, and they manipulate a system to and incorporate their wickedness. All right, but at the end of the day, they're middlemen. They like to play the middleman. All right, they like to play the A&R, the record label, from the talent to the masses. All right, they like to be the factory. All right, they don't somebody make a good plate. They like to make a building and create a building for the person to make the plates, and then the person to consume. All right, which at the end of the day they have no talent. Okay, but this was a curse that was put on Cain, and this curse is applicable to Esau. All right, it says thou shalt take up this proverb. So like I'm on reading the wrong one because I'm reading Isaiah 14. We got to get that as well. It says verse 11. It says, and now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And the proof of that was like when they came over, they don't know how to cultivate anything unless they learned something from somebody else. But when they came over here, and as the Dutch and all these other Portuguese and all, they didn't know how to cultivate the land, which is why they had to have slaves, because they can't make anything or produce anything of good on their own unless it's at the back of somebody else, or it's a hashtag capitalism or something of that attached to it. Okay, it's never just pure good with them unless it's to their benefit. It says, and Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall do what? Slay me. Okay? And right? And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any find him should kill him. And that mark was a skin of leprosy, because everybody at a point in time had melanin in their skin. Everyone. All right. So you didn't get to differentiate tribes based off their skin tone. Okay. You had to go by their culture. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing that separated people, was their stock, and how they now it do the main physical thing is your seed line, who your cousins is, but it has to have your cousins is connected in culture. All right. I know that, when it says, Adawam, it says, thou shalt not abhor Edomite, is Arawam. When it's talking about, the people in the land of Ur and all that, Abraham, these people have connective culture, and we get along with them. Okay. As in culture. Okay. It's just like if an Israelite man get a Muslim woman, you know what I'm saying? It'll mesh well. All right. Now you can't serve Muhammad and all that, but say she's willing to not, do all that inside your house, and she's willing to, pray and how she do and not bring no idols and all that. Say she's pretty much content to deal with your rules, her natural state of being and the laws. She's not going to be like truly frustrated with the living condition, because there ain't gonna be no pork in there. The way the wives set up, the order of the house, how the man's role is, how the woman's role is, it's a natural mesh, so that's why it's important for you to have a stock and your inheritance, because when you deal with these people, or you deal with women and you deal with men, you're taking your resources and bringing it over to that family. You know what I'm saying? So that's another big deal that has something to do with it. So you don't want to outsource your resources, okay? But getting back to it, the Lord, set a mark upon Cain so nobody can slay him. Well, that mark is being lifted, man. Okay? That mark is being lifted to the point that people are not afraid of Esau. People are, fighting against them within and without. All right? So that leads me to, want to go back into Isaiah the 14th chapter. It says, back in Isaiah 14:4, it says, "Thou shalt take a proverb against the king of Babylon," all right, which is the president of the U.S. of A. They might as well say that, or whoever's running the show, in that regard. It says, "And say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers." Yeah, and the staff, that true staff of the wicked, was their military might, and it is their military might. Okay, also their science and their products, but through capitalism, they created sugar, but then used factories in Thailand and Cambodia and all that to produce the sugar. So it weakened America to turn them into consumers, and through their greed, they created consumers out of a nation of production, and then took, the nations that were supposed to be the consumers and made them the producers. Because it's like you try to get everybody to consume through your democracy and image of the beast, but mainly you got your own people, and now you're in this place of needing heathen to uphold your system, uphold your capitalistic system. Okay, it says the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked. Yeah, everybody got enriched uranium. Everybody got missiles now. People that made leagues because you didn't backstab them. You didn't put sanctions on them. You didn't fuck them over with deals, cut them out of deals. So now Pakistan and Iran is making leagues with Russia. Nigeria, I believe it's Nigeria or an area around that area where there's the guy named Ibrahim. He's backing his government by gold. And there's people getting on there. There's an army general saying that, hey, yeah, they got the nerve. This guy is using their money to build their military. But wait, y'all got 700. Last fiscal year, America spent over $600 billion on their military. Okay? $600 billion on their military. There's a video I want to show as well. That's another lesson. That's showing the militaries and the aircraft, the military might via aircraft. And in America, like Iran has like 600. America has 6,000. No, 11,000. You know what I'm saying? This is showing, but that with the nuclear missiles, it don't matter how many aircrafts you have, man. You can't stop that thing, man. Okay? That thing lights air on fire. All right, that's what a nuclear missile basically do is pretty much fire and brimstone. How Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, the air turned on fire. Okay, just like a lightning bolt, that's air turning on fire. All right, you may be able to scientifically explain it and all this and grounding and static, but that's air, that's fire coming out of nothing. All right, and when it get on your ass, it'll show you a thing or two. All right. But that was more components and elements, atoms bumping into each other, all that good old stuff. But, I know scientists are, go into it, but, we'll continue on. It says, "The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked, which is Esau, and the scepter, which is your power, all right, of the rulers, who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, all right, putting people through oppression, putting sanctions on them, bullying them, making them, accept your agendas." Okay. He says, "He that ruled the nations," all right, not just America, but the nations in anger, "is persecuted and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing," because that's what's going to happen when Esau fully goes down, man. All right. When the wicked rule, the people mourn. When the righteous rule, people rejoice. And the earth is going to bring forth into singing when Esau goes down. But what the nations fail to realize is that when Esau goes down, they're not going to rise up in his stead. Okay? That's the thing that they have to realize. That's what they don't understand. They want Esau gone just as much as we do, but they need him. Pursuant to Revelations, the 18th chapter. Okay? How? Because, again, they're making the product now. So how can they sell their product when nobody to buy it? Okay? It says, verse 8, it says, "Yea, the fir trees rejoiceth at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us." Yeah, man, this is the thing, man, that people don't understand, bro. This dude got to go. Like, nobody, all this shit, the need of a gun. You know what I'm saying? The need for police and to watch your back and all that, because of the system that he's created. And you could damn near see it in today's society. Look at America's prison system compared to these other countries, man. They may have horrible prison conditions, and some of them don't. All right? But at the same time, bro, America they've made capitalism, they incorporated capitalism into the prison system by making it privatized and owned privately. So they need people to be in there. You know, like that's an indirect way of doing chattel slavery, all kind of shit, man. But at the end of the day, they created a system to encourage people to go to jail. This dude is wicked, man. All right, and everybody's noticing it, and everybody's getting tired of it. The man of sin began to be revealed in the time of Rome, and it's manifest at this point. Okay. Verse 9, it's Isaiah 14:9 says, "Hell from beneath is moved for thee." All right, because hell is not a place, is a condition. Christians, do you hear that? Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. The people that didn't have names, that didn't have, the dead is the people that they couldn't say nothing. All right, the people that you can mess up, i.e. the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, these other weaker nations, you used to just go over there and say hey and lie on them, and they couldn't say nothing because at the end of the day they couldn't beat you. But now that staff is broken, they got a voice. All right, Esau's renowned to silencing people. Okay, it says, "Even all the chief ones of the earth, if have raised up their thrones and kings of the nations, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy boils, the worms is spread underneath thee, and the worms cover thee." Yeah, man, they're circling the drain, man. Okay, they're circling the drain. They're breaking down. All right, they're not this cool guy. They're not the smart guy. They're not the person that has it all together. They're not the popular girl in school. They've been the popular girl in school sit there and be dancing with a skeleton at night, and everybody found out. You fucking weird. You're wicked. You're off. You're not this thing that you presented to the whole world. All right, and now that the man of sin has been revealed, there's no way you can convince people otherwise. And you're trying your same dirty tactics: shaming, lying, demonizing, false accusations, propaganda. But when everybody see it, nigga, it don't work on nobody. You can't tell China that Iran is some whole ass niggas. You can't tell them that. You didn't fuck them, or you fucked everybody over. You fucking the UK over. What Israel is doing in the Middle East is fucking over all these European countries because they get their oil from these people, man. All right. It's like, hey, man, Jake and the world don't get it, man. These Christians don't get it because they're not into geopolitics and all that. All they looking for is an abundance of glory and mercy and help from the Lord. You're not looking for salvation. You're not looking for prophecies. That's your damn problem. All right, but we'll get back to it. Verse 12, it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" And this is not talking about fallen angels. It's not talking about Satan falling. All right, this is talking about, a high place. A heaven is a high place. All right. Like if you in having a natural high, everything's going right. You didn't got $1 billion from the lotto. You got the baddest woman or the baddest husband, and you got the best house, and then you're gonna say, man, I'm in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. So it's referenced in that light. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, from that high seat that they're in, that lofty, that seat of pomp. As it says earlier in the verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. Where's the grave? In the ground or on the ground? Jeez. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? How? With their lies, with their democracy, with their propaganda, with their ways of living, with their legislations, with their sanctions. Okay? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, which is the nation of Israel, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, in the sides of the north, which is North America. Okay? And of course, in that time, the Babylonians, the actual Babylonians, were in the north. They consider Babylon the north. Okay? They consider Babylon the north. So it can be historically referenced, but this is more of a biblical annotation, allegory. Okay? Or connotation or allegory. All right? So what we're watching, what we're witnessing now is that Esau's circling the drain, man. His mark is being lifted. Nobody cares. People are tired of him being a vagabond. People are tired of him destroying the earth, walking around taking peace out of the earth. You know, they didn't play with that toy that you gave them. And they say, all right, bro, I'm done with this toy, bro. You can. Oh, wait, what did you do? Oh, hell no. You say you were just gonna drive. They like somebody letting you borrow their car, and they say, okay, I'll give you something for collateral. I'll give you something in place of that. And you'd be like, oh man, you know, I'll let you hold my PS5, you know, if you let me use your car. Oh, okay. This motherfucker went fucking dirt, you know, going off-road racing in your shit. And you come back like, hey man, I didn't expect you to do that. Well, you let me use your car, and now it's like, oh man. And then you do that to that person, he's voicing he hates you, and then this person's been wooing them, so they don't believe you. Then you fuck them over. And then you move to another nation, and you do the same thing, and then eventually every nation hates you now because they found out what's the end result to accepting the gifts of you. Okay? A gift blinded the eyes of the wise. All right? But the results make them niggas put that gift down. That's why Gog and Magog said they will not regard no silver nor gold. Because you're not going to be able to manipulate them with resources, how you did the whole world, man. They're tired of it, man. Because nothing results of it is you getting bombed anyways. So the damn if I do, damn if I don't, I might as well have my own shit. Then you're lying on me. You know, going over there starving, taking all Africa's resources, right? And then get all the dudes, say them niggas starving, they need help, and then you take the money that you asking for it and use it for your... These niggas is wild, bro. Wild. Disrespectful, man. Come into your land, farm your land, take your resources, and then when you say, hey, man, y'all gotta go, oh, yes, genocide. Man, get the hell out of here. All this, and then on top of that, how did you get down here to say that you belong here? You committed genocide. You do colonialism and colonization. Go look up the most violent countries. Go ask AI overview about the most violent countries historically. And see how many foreign nations that you get that's not Edomites. Only one nation, when I looked it up, popped up, and that was Genghis Khan them. Outside of that, it was all Europeans, all Edomites, man. Because why? Their blessing is the sword. And they brought destruction. Okay? Y'all like to talk about what Adolf Hitler did, Edomite. Then you got, you know, the other guy that killed millions of people. Way more than Adolf did. Then you got slavery. Man, Esau got blood on his hands. Innocent blood, all kind of blood, man. And that mark is being lifted, and his ultimate end result will be to eat thermonuclear missiles, and the remaining to go into to hard beyond chattel slavery. It's going to manifest. What you try to make everybody believe against the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans is going to be a fact for you. You're going to be subhuman. You're not going to be treated like the average human on planet Earth, because your end result is that you got to go. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth sincerity. Shalom.